Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dick Shields Auditorium for the fall production of Law & Order Nursery Rhyme Unit. During the show, feel free to applaud after every scene, but please refrain from using any and all flash photography and be sure to turn off all cell phones and babies. Thank you for coming. We hope you enjoy the show.
Kenzie couldn't figure out the right direction. So what do we have here?
Well, it looks like a suicide.
Where's the body?
You mean what's left of it? It's been taken to the morgue. The coroner will be doing an autopsy later today.
All right. Where's the chalk outline showing the placement of the body?
Here, 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 and here.
Wow. Do we have a description of the victim?
We found a driver's license on his jacket pocket. Here's a photo.
I've never seen anyone so bald and pale. And whoa, he's really out of shape. I think he is as round as he is tall. So his name is?
Humpty Dumpty.
Humpty Dumpty?
Yes.
So why are we treating this one as a suicide?
Well, friends who knew him say that Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall.
Why was he up there? Was he depressed? Having a terrible autumn?
Actually, the witnesses say that Humpty Dumpty had a great fall.
Who are the witnesses?
All the king's horses and all the king's men.
Horses, huh? I don't think their testimony's allowed in court.
Well, I mean, they are the main witnesses.
You know I hate it when you do that.
Yes.
And yet you continue to pun?
Well, I am the pun-ish, sir.
So we've got Humpty Dumpty falling off a wall to his death.
Yes.
But there's one problem.
What's that?
Look at his picture again. See those skinny arms and legs?
Yeah?
How did Humpty get all the way up to the top of that wall?
So what you're saying that this is not a suicide, but that it is?
That's right. I think this is an egocide.
In the nursery justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups. The detectives who investigate the crime and the magistrates who prosecute the offenders. These are their rhymes.
Are any of the witnesses still here?
We have one of the king's horses.
Let's talk to her. She may be able to give us a lead.
Or she might just stir up some trouble.
Excuse me, I understand that you were at the scene of the accident. About what time did it occur?
307. I see.
Did you see Humpty sit on the wall?
Nee,
Did you see Humpty fall?
nee.
This is ridiculous. We won't get any information this way. She's not talking.
You have to let her calm down on it. She has trouble talking.
Why is that?
She's a little horse. Now please tell me what happened again in your own words.
Oh my goodness, it was terrible, it was horrible, it was atrocious.
Calm down and let rain in.
We were in the stables around the corner. The king's men were trying on their feeding bags, when all of a sudden we heard a gigantic splat. We ran over to look what we could do to help.
What'd you do to help?
Well, naturally, all the king's horses and all the king's men tried to put Humpty Dumpty back together again.
And what stopped you from doing that?
Well, for one, none of us had finished all 4 years of medical school, let alone the 5 years of resistance you need for that kind of organ replacement surgery.
What else prevented you from putting Humpty back together again?
No hands.
There's that.
Did you know Mr. Dumpty?
Nobody really knew him. He was pretty obnoxious.
A bad egg, huh?
You could say that.
Is there anything else you can tell us?
I know he was renting an apartment from the old woman who lived in a shoe.
Do you know his apartment number?
No, it was on the floor though.
So you say he was the sole occupant?
Well, if that's all, I better get back to work now.
Thank you. We won't keep you. What do you do here in town in case we need to contact you again?
I am
This
the...
horse holds a very important position. She's the town mayor.
You deal with this every day?
That's why they took away my gun. Are you the old woman?
My, aren't you the charmer?
Are you the old woman who lived in a shoe?
Who's asking?
I'm Detective Green. And are you?
No, I'm not the old woman who lived in a shoe.
You know, that is interesting, coming from someone living in a very shoe-like building.
You got me confused with someone else. I'm the young woman who lives in a Birkenstock.
Birkenstock?
Aren't Birkenstock sandals?
Well, I've done some remodeling lately.
Young woman?
You got a problem with that?
Look, man, if you could just let us in and ask you a few questions.
You're not from the Child Protective Services, are you?
No.
Or the Housing Code Enforcement?
No.
Or the Department of Homeland Security?
No, ma'am. I'm from NRU, and I'm investigating a suspected murder.
Murder?
Yes.
Well, if it's just murder, come on in. Can I get you gentlemen anything? Coffee, tea, broth without any bread?
Hey, broth sounds pretty good.
Thank you, ma'am, but we are on duty. Now, if we could just ask you a few questions. Oh, are these your children?
Yes, that's Mary and Larry.
Mary and Larry. They are really...
Cute.
Yeah, ain't they?
Did you have a renter here by the name of Humpty Dumpty?
What do you mean did?
His body was found at the bottom of the wall. We are still both pretty shell-shocked.
Did Mr. Dumpty rent from you?
You could say that. He was always behind on his rent. He had trouble holding a job.
So you say you really had to scramble for work?
And you are...
This is my partner, the punished sir.
I see.
So, what was Mr. Dumpty doing? Mary and Larry?
That's not Mary and Larry.
It's not?
No, that's Carrie and Barry.
Carrie and Barry. They're also really...
Cute.
Yeah, ain't they?
So, Mr. Dumpty was a loner. No friends?
He had one person meet him regularly, about once a week.
What was this person's name?
I never caught her name.
Can you describe her?
She was gorgeous, stunning really. Arms like an angel, long and elegant neck. A little too much eyeshadow though.
That sounds like Swan to me, detective.
Yes, it does. Does the name Beautiful Swan ring a bell?
That doesn't sound familiar.
Her name used to be Ugly Duckling before she legally changed it.
Ugly duckling? Well, of course. Humpty spoke to her all the time on the phone. I never connected the name Ugly Duckling with the vision of loveliness who came calling at the shoe.
One would not think someone so fair could be named so foul.
So when Swan, or Duckling, came to the shoe, where? Carrie and Barry?
That's not Carrie and Barry.
Mary and Larry?
No, that's Sherry and Harry.
Sherry and Harry. Where else really?
Cute.
Yeah, ain't they?
So, when Swan came to the shoe, where did her and Mr. Dumpty go?
They had this meeting they went to regularly, some sort of support group.
Support group? Do you know the name of it?
Love, optimism, self-esteem, respect, support.
Losers?
It's a group for people with low self-esteem.
Humpty Dumpty. Him, I can imagine belonging to such a group. I mean, a pasty-faced, bald, rotund guy is natural for low self-esteem. But Beautiful Swan?
I imagine as a swan, she was always feeling kinda down.
So, do you know where the support group? Carrie and Harry?
That's not Sherry and Harry.
Carrie and Barry?
No.
Mary and Larry?
No, that's Jerry and Barry.
Jerry and Terry. Well, they are also really.
Cute.
Yeah, ain't they?
So, do you know where the support group meets?
No, but Humpty gave me the phone number just in case I needed to contact him. I'll get it for you.
Mr. Dumpty and Miss Swan, were they in a romantic relationship?
Yes, they were at one time, but recently Swan broke up with Humpty. She said she needed to find herself.
So, Humpty got Dumptied?
You deal with this every day?
That's why this Toy My Billy Club. Thank you.
Jerry and Perry?
That's not Jerry and Perry.
Jerry and Harry?
No,
Carrie and Barry?
no,
Mary and Larry?
no, that's Terry and Engelbert.
Terry and Engelbert?
Yes,
Wow, you are an old woman.
and I live in a shoe.
You have so many children.
I don't know what to do.
Well, if you find out anything else, please contact us.
What? No pie in your face? This is ridiculous. This is preposterous. This is
Cute!
Yeah, ain't they?
All right, everyone, it's time to begin. Now, Georgie, we've talked about this. If you sit next to the girls and start kissing them, it's going to make them cry.
Yeah, that and the fact that I've got a restraining order against you. Remember? You have to keep 10 feet away from me, Mr. Georgie Porgy, put it in pie.
Put in pie? Really? That's your last name?
Yeah?
What kind of last name is that? Put it in pie. Is that Danish?
No, it's Dutch. Dutch apple specifically.
10 feet! 10 feet!
All right.
Who would like to begin this week? Jack, be nimble. Now, this is progress. You're the first to volunteer. That shows that you're gaining some confidence. Tell us about an exciting accomplishment of yours this week.
Okay, so I set a candlestick down in the middle of the floor. Then I did my stretching exercises and some Pilates to warm up and loosen my muscles. Nothing worse than a pulled hamstring, if you know what I mean. Then I did a few approaches to the candlestick to get my footing down and tracked my first step on the floor. Then I ran an easy arc to the candlestick. Then I was nimble and quick and jumped over the candlestick. I might add, I did it without the benefit of performance-enhancing drugs.
Wait. That's it? A candle is, what, almost 4 or 5 inches tall? What's so great about that?
Georgie, positive supportive comments only. What's the rule?
Don't be a party pooper. Tell everyone they're super duper.
That's right.
Right, I forgot. Gee, Jack, that's a tiny achievement. I bet you make the Olympic candle jumping team.
Continue, Jack.
Not only did I clear their entire candlestick, but the candle was lit.
Wow, is it on fire? Those flames must have been shooting up. What, a whole inch? Did you have to be treated for 3rd-degree burns?
Georgie, I think that's very brave, Jack, and it shows that Jack be nimble and Jack be quick.
Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. What are you, a repster now? Wicka, wicka, wicka.
Thanks for sharing, Jack. Who's next? Well, I see that we have a new person with us today, and you are...
Blue.
Welcome to the club. This is Losers After All.
Mary, you know I hate that acronym.
Hey, it beats the old name of our group. We really expect terrific, truthful, happy endings daily. Come on, Blue Boy, you can figure it out. We really expect terrific, cheerful, happy endings daily.
Wretched?
You've got it.
Okay, so I'm awful at picking up group names. Let's get to know our new members, shall we? Now tell us, why are you blue?
I was fired from my job.
What was your job?
I worked in stocks.
Oh, investment broker?
Shepherd.
A shepherd, really?
We'll get to your particular problem in a minute, Bo Peep. Now, Mr. Blue.
You can call me Boy.
At last, a man who knows his maturity level. Can I call you little boy?
No, Boy will do.
So, Boy, do you mind if I ask why you were fired?
Negligence.
Negligence?
You see, the cow was in the corn and the sheep were in the meadow.
Why didn't you blow your horn?
Yeah, you are the boy who looks after the sheep.
Well, Al is fast asleep under the haycock.
Did you wake him?
No, not I.
For if you do, he'll be sure to cry.
Yep, that's basically it.
We sure have a lot of crybabies in this group.
No, I kiss the girls and make them cry.
Oh, and that's so much better.
Georgie, Swan, that's enough. Mary, how was your week?
10 feet! 10 feet!
I still feel like I'm being followed.
Hey, this sounds interesting.
It's not. It's creepy. There's this lamb, its fleece is as white as snow, and everywhere that I went this week, the lamb was sure to go.
I'm sure you're just imagining things.
No, I'm not. It followed me to school one day.
Isn't that against the rules?
Yes, but it made the children laugh and play to see the lamb at school.
Did you try blowing your horn and scare the lamb away?
Do continue.
And so the teacher turned it out, but still it waited near and waited patiently about until I did appear.
Why does a lamb love Mary so?
I believe that Mary loves the lamb so. Mary, this should make you feel very good to have someone so attached to you. It's a reflection of your inner worth.
What does that say about me, Doctor? I've lost my sheep and can't go to find them.
Leave them alone, Bo Peep, and they'll come home, wagging their tails behind them.
You've been saying that for 3 years. Last night, I kept counting my sheep in my mind, but before I could get told them, I kept falling asleep. When I fell asleep, I dreamed I heard them bleeding. When I woke, I found out a joke, for still they're all sleeping. If they love me, they'd be following me to school like Mary over here. Maybe I just didn't love them enough. Maybe they didn't know how much I love them.
Maybe you don't love them at all.
That's not true, Georgie. I'm taking out my notebook and I'm determined to find them. You blue boy.
That's Boy Blue.
Whatever, little boy. You're with me. Your shepherd is up for work, right?
Well, actually, I was gonna collect some unemployment and travel and find myself.
While you're trying to find yourself, you can find my sheep too.
Okay.
And we're avoiding all haycocks. Sorry, I can't have you sleeping on the job.
Excellent progress, Bo Peep. You're not just sitting around anymore. You're taking matters into your own hands. This is a very big step for you. We'll see you next week, Bo Peep. Good luck, boy. Swan, where's Humpty Dumpty this week?
I'm sorry, Doctor.
I'm Dr. Foster from Gluckauster.
I'm Detective Green. Pleased to meet you, Doctor, but I'm afraid we have some very bad news.
Oh?
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a little accident.
And I thought he was making great progress in this group.
What are you saying?
It wasn't a very pretty scene. We're very sorry.
This has been a very emotional evening given this bad news. I think we better adjourn together our thoughts. We'll continue next week.
Wait, Miss Swan, we understand that you were a close friend of Mr. Dumpty's.
We know you were probably shattered by the news. We were wondering if you can answer a few questions.
He was feeling very fragile this week.
Not staying close to cracking up, would you?
Why no? He's been more positive than I've seen him in a long time.
Starting to look on the sunny side of things? This isn't going to go over easy, but we suspect foul play.
You mean his fall was no accident?
We don't think so. Miss Swan, can you think of anyone who might have wanted to hurt Mr. Dumpty?
Besides the bullies who rolled him for his lunch money, it's hard being the fat kid or the ugly kid. I should know. I was made fun of as a child too.
I thought he was making such progress.
Miss Swan, can you think of anyone more recently who might have had it out for Mr. Dumpty?
I can't think of anyone.
We are looking for a hard-boiled kind of character.
You have to put up with this every day.
That's why they took away my taser.
I'm sorry I can't help you more, Detective.
Here's my number. If you think of anything else, just give me a call.
Thank you, Detective.
We'll let you know if we find out anything, Detective. Let me drive you home, Swan.
Did you notice anything suspicious, Detective?
What do you mean?
Swan didn't seem too sad for being his only close friend.
Sometimes the shock has to set in.
I don't know.
You suspect Swan? There's no way she can be a suspect.
Why not?
Deductive reasoning, she's not a nursery rhyme character.
Ugly duckling, beautiful swan. Yeah, she is.
No, she isn't.
Yes, she is.
Okay, if she's a nursery rhyme character, what's the rhyme?
Well, Mr. Smarty, it's hickory dickory duck.
That's hickory dickory dock. The mouse ran up the clock.
Diddle diddle duckling.
That's diddle diddle dumpling.
Little Miss Ducket sat on her bucket.
That's little Miss Muffet sat in her tuffet.
Okay, now I know you're lying. There's no such thing as a tuffet.
Yeah, it is a tuffet. Don't even get me started on Cards and Way.
Tuffet, no kidding, really?
Swan is from a story by Hans Christian Andersen. I don't even think Andersens were related to Mother Goose.
Not one clue yet so far. We're going to have to work extra hard to solve this case.
Look, Punish, I think you better ease off on the Ponzolier with the corner. She has lots of sharp objects. I hope she's found something useful.
Detective, glad you and your partner can make it so soon. Have I got something to show you?
I was hoping you'd be done. I don't got much of a stomach for this.
Come on, be a man.
You'll need to put these on.
Why do we need these?
Hello, giant egg. You want to get salmonella?
Oh,
Put these on too.
What are these for?
Regulations, health inspectors, you know.
Oh,
Well, if you hand me that whisk, we can get started.
what have you found so far?
Well, I've examined the outer body. I had to be very careful.
so you feel like you're walking on eggshells?
I've heard about you. You're the new guy, the Punish, sir?
I see my reputation precedes me.
It does indeed. Word to the department is that you have 15 Eighth Amendment violations filed against you.
Eighth Amendment?
Cruel and unusual punishment.
Oh,
Anyway, the victim died of severe trauma to the head, chest, and pelvis.
All three?
Well, with this victim, his head, chest, and pelvis are one of the same. But here's the weirdest part. If you look closely, you can see it's all white.
All white? That's funny. Where's the yellow?
funny? Why is it funny? I don't get the yolk.
16 of the Eighth Amendment violations.
There was no yolk. Do you think the killer had something against cholesterol?
That or possibly making a meringue for a massive lemon pie.
Why do you say that?
Not only is the yolk missing, but the white is fluffy.
So Humpty was beaten then whipped?
17. Detective, could you hand me that spatula?
Here you go. Sal, is there anything else you can tell us?
Humpty Dumpty had a tattoo.
A tattoo? What was it?
It was just the words grade A large.
Wow. For someone with low self-esteem, that's pretty conceited.
I always knew he was an egomaniac.
18.
But here's the weirdest part. Humpty Dumpty had traces of food coloring on his body, and the egg carton that he was brought in on had an expiration date on it.
So he was died when he died?
You put up with this every day?
That's why they took away my chainsaw.
Well, that's about all I've got for you. Anyone up for an omelet?
Hey, that's not Humpty, is it?
This isn't Humpty. I just haven't had breakfast yet. Just some forensic humor here.
Don't mind if I do. Wow, this is incredible.
And good for you. High in protein and no cholesterol.
So, what are we doing here, Detective?
I'm just following an instinct. Sal said that the murderer was either a health nut who worries about cholesterol or someone who really likes pie. And if I remember right, Jack Sprat could eat no fat.
And his wife could eat no lean.
So Sprat would be the health nut who worries about cholesterol.
And his wife would be the one to make him arrange for a massive lemon pie.
I think this is the place.
Yeah, what do you want?
We are looking for Jack Sprat. Does he live here?
Jack? What do you want with Jack?
We just wanted to ask him a few questions.
Come on in. We've got nothing to hide.
Wow, you must be Miss Sprat.
What makes you say that?
Well, Jack Sprat's wife could eat no lean, and I don't think lean cuisines are on your menu.
Nah, I never eat frozen dinners.
Yeah.
You gonna come in or just stand there with dumb looks on your faces?
Right. If you could lead the way.
Can I get you something to eat? Donuts, pork rinds, lard?
Lard.
Yeah, I just spread on a couple slices of Wonder Bread. Or eat it straight. That'll stick to your ribs.
And to the walls of your arteries.
That explains why Miss Sprat is not very tall. Crisco is shortening.
Sure you don't want anything to eat? Donuts, pork rinds, anything to keep your mouths full?
Miss Sprat, we would just like to ask you and your husband some questions.
Jack is indisposed.
Indisposed?
Yes, he's running.
Running? Running where?
In the shower. He has to run in the shower to get wet.
When he gets a letter, it says return to slender.
During a thunderstorm, he can stay dry under a clothesline.
His favorite song is Lean on Me.
When he stands sideways and sticks out his tongue, he looks like a zipper.
He'd make a good magician because he's sleight of hand.
Miss Sprat, if you could just get your husband.
Jack! Get in here!
Yes, honey?
It's yes, dear.
Yes, dear.
These two flatfoots weren't asking for questions.
Yes, gentlemen?
Mr. Sprat, where were you on the night of December 6th?
I was doing some baking.
Would that baking involve pies, perhaps?
Why, yes, but I don't...
Well, Humpty was found beaten and whipped on the night of December 6th. Beaten and whipped on the night of December 6th. And you need to crack a few eggs to bake up a few pies, don't you, Mr. Jack Sprat, if that is in fact your real name?
But...
Give me no buts, Mr. Egg Cracker. Murder in this case was a half-baked idea.
But...
You heard me, Mr. Pastry Chef. Shut up and talk.
Wait. What's the big idea?
I was on the verge of getting him to talk.
But it's my turn to be bad cop. You were bad cop last time.
No, it's my turn to be the bad cop because it's in my name. The punish, sir.
But I don't want to be the good cop again. I'm tired of saying there and being empathetic and offering coffee and taking off the thumb screw.
It's my turn to be the bad cop.
My turn.
My turn.
My turn.
Yes. Well, are you ready to talk or shall I pun again?
And am I right? Ow.
You heard me. Shut up and talk.
But...
Now are you ready to talk, Mr. Pastry Chef? Or shut up and talk?
Well, go over there and cool down. There, Jack. I know just how you feel. Would you like some coffee? Let me get those thumb screws off you.
Thumb screws?
Oops, got ahead of myself.
Look, I know what you two are up to, and I'm not talking. So if you don't have any evidence to arrest me, you might as well just leave.
Oh, Jack, let's think extra hard for a moment. Are you sure you're not telling us anything or leaving anything out?
Hey, I noticed your wife has some egg white on her apron.
So, what of it? I eat a lot of omelets. Keep up my strength.
I bet that we found on you matches that of Humpty Dumpty. We have a picture of Jack Sprat beating a few eggs. That will be Exhibit A.
Stop the punning. I'll talk until you'll talk.
Don't say another word. And we know our rights. We want a lawyer, and we're not talking until we get counsel.
You're nursery characters. You should set a better example. We expected better of you. Now you'll get exactly what is coming to you.
You put up with this every day?
That's why they took away my pit bull. Mrs. Sprat, you and your husband are under arrest for the murder of Humpty Dumpty. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in a court of law.
Great idea.
Hey, I ain't no fat, but I find other uses for it.
Thanks, pal. Now, as I was saying, if you could not afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you.
The whole truth, not leaving anything out.
Oh, yes, and I did dig that hole, but it's a good hole.
You may be seated.
Now, Simple Simon, you met a pie man?
Well, I was going to the fair.
What did you say to the pie man?
Let me taste your ware.
What did the pie man say to you?
He said, let me see your penny, but I hadn't any.
You hadn't any penny.
I never had any cents.
Objection! I object to your objection! I object to you objecting my objection! Yes. 1, this testimony is going nowhere. 2, penny and cents is an obvious pun, and those lines belong solely to the punisher. And finally, the witness is obviously mental.
Mental, as in someone not conforming to the thought processes of the dominant culture?
No, I meant...
Or by mental, do you mean someone who's such a deep thinker that they're not appreciated by the materialist, pragmatic bourgeois?
No, I meant...
Or by mental, do you mean someone who's stupid?
What I meant, Judge...
That's judgmental to you.
Oh, yeah, right. I withdraw my objection.
Your objection is withdrawn, overruled, and hung by the neck until dead. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
Darn tootin'. Mr. Simon, you may continue your testimony.
Where was I?
No sense. Tell me, Simple Simon, is the pie man in this room?
Yes, that's him there.
Let it be noted that the witness pointed to defendant Jack Spratt. Now, Simple Simon, what did you do when the pie man would not let you taste his wares?
I followed him back to his house.
What did you see there?
I watched him bake his pies. He was fresh on his pies.
Or fat?
Yes, fat. He used fresh egg white for this meringue. Well, this white fluffy stuff on top of the pies.
Did you say fresh egg white?
Yes.
How do you know it was fresh egg white?
I saw him beating the egg white right out of the giant shell, and I took a picture of it.
Enough with the gasping. Skip the note.
Is this the picture?
Yes.
Let it be noted that this picture shall be filed as Exhibit A. I have no further questions for this witness.
Defense, your witness, watch yourself.
Mr. Simon, is it?
Yes.
But you go by Simple.
Yes.
You also go by other names, isn't that true?
In the schoolyards, the boys call me Simple Pimple, but my therapist tells me...
Isn't it true that you were also Peter Pumpkin Eater, arrested for keeping your wife in a pumpkin shell?
Well,
Also known as Wee Willie Winky, arrested for being a stalker and running about in your nightgown.
It's been a while since.
Also known as Tom the Piper's son, Arrested for pig napping?
There's a logical explanation.
Isn't your real name Crooked Man?
Yes.
And you have a crooked cat who caught a crooked mouse, and you all live together in a crooked little house.
Yes.
You've got quite a rap sheet, Simple Simon. Why are you testifying against Jack Sprat today?
I feel it is as my duty as a citizen.
Did the prosecution offer you immunity in exchange for your testimony today?
Well, it's only fair.
So your testimony was bought. How did you just happen to have a camera when you went to the Sprat household?
I'm an amateur photographer.
Amateur! Isn't it true that you've been paid a great deal for your photographs? Isn't it true that, as Willy Winky, you were arrested not only for being a stalker, but also for extortion?
I was only arrested. I was never convicted.
Yes, of course. Maybe you were never convicted because you had incriminating pictures of the judge presiding in this case.
Objection! Sustained. Jury, ignore the listening.
So, Mr. Simon, or shall I say, Crooked Man, you have a criminal record, your testimony was bought, and you were on your way to Jack Sprat's home in order to commit a felony. Am I missing anything?
I do dig a good hole.
Just as you've dug a hole for yourself now. I guess the truth is not so simple. I am done with this witness.
You may step down. Defense, we call your first witness.
The defense calls Mr. Jack Sprat.
You sure to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Mr. Sprat, you heard the witness before you claimed that he saw you eating egg whites. Is that true?
Yeah, it's true. Hey, there ain't no law against beating egg whites.
True, true. But the witness before you said that he saw you beating them out of a piece of giant eggshell. Is that true?
Yeah, it's true. Grade A large egg.
I'm warning you, one more gasp and it's gapped to the noggin.
Where did you get this piece of giant eggshell?
From Mother Goose.
Mother Goose. The Mother Goose?
Mm-hmm.
Your Honor, Mother Goose is right outside this courtroom. I suggest the bailiff grab her and bring her to the witness stand for questioning.
Your Honor, this is most irregular.
Indeed, this is most irregular.
That is true, Your Honor. If you prefer, I could recall Simple Simon for more questions about other pictures he has taken that might be incriminating.
Bailiff, go grab Mother Goose and bring her to the witness stand. Be careful, she's got quite the temper. Did you have to rush her in the middle of traffic? We heard all the cars honking.
That was her doing the honking, Your Honor.
Unhand me, you honk. This is unacceptable behavior, you little honk.
Swear her in, bailiff.
I think she's already swearing, Your Honor.
What the honk is going on here?
Jack Sprat is on trial for the murder of Humpty Dumpty.
Murder, honk, of my son? And what the honk do you think you are doing, you honking judge?
Well, she just said I said the next person with gas would get a gavel to.
Yes?
They'd get a gavel to the noggin. Perhaps I was a little too hasty.
Darn tootin'.
Is this the first you've heard of the murder of Humpty Dumpty?
Yes, it is. Who did it? Was it that nasty Miss Spratt?
I never! Why do you assume the perpetrator is Mrs. Sprat?
She was always jealous of my son's figure.
But Mrs. Sprat has an alibi for the night of the 6th.
The 6th? Are you saying that my son was murdered on the 6th?
Yes.
But that's impossible. He was fit as a fiddle at breakfast this morning.
Go ahead, gasp away. See if I care.
What do you mean still alive? His body was found at the bottom of that wall.
That wasn't his body, that was his shell.
What do you mean?
Humpty is my son, and he has been living with me for the past 5 years after graduating from college. He is quite smart.
I always knew he was an egghead.
One more outburst like that, and I'll hold you in contempt. In fact, with times like that, I already hold you in contempt.
As I was saying, Humpty is quite smart, but he would never leave the nest and get his independence. Sure, he moved out for a while, but he was living in a shoe for goodness sake, and I was still doing his laundry and packing his lunch. That is why Beautiful Swan broke up with him. Well, when she left him, that was the last straw. Now, usually, I'm not one for mixed marriages, but I thought Beautiful Swan was the right bird for him. And I wanted grandchildren, so I pushed Humpty out of the nest.
You pushed Humpty Dumpty out of the nest? You murdered your own son?
Murdered? You think I've committed murder? You dare accuse me, of murder?
Calm down!
I will not calm down.
No, no one is accusing you of murder.
Of course not. We think we have the murderer.
Nonsense. I forced him out of his comfortable shell, but I haven't murdered him. I'm meeting him for lunch today. In fact, here he comes now.
Here you are, Mom. What's up? I thought we were going to lunch.
You all know my son Humpty, Goosey.
Humpty, you are still alive? Yes, and now I'm independent. I bought myself a condo and I just made my first down payment.
Hey, that was supposed to be my pun.
That's right, all of us belong to the overruled.
Your Honor, seeing as the victim is alive and well, I suggest...
I agree. Case dismissed. The defendant is free to go.
Well, that just goes to show you, Detective.
What's that?
Don't count your victims before they're hatched.
You know what else punished, sir?
What's that?
They may have taken away my gun, my billy club, my taser, my chainsaw, and my pit bull, but they have not taken away my cattle prod. Let's see you jump over the moon.
Hey, diddle diddle.
There you have it, folks. Come say hi to the cast and crew and take some pictures on the stage. Thank you. We hope you enjoyed the show.